Like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, and on with the video. Alright, so SHTF Garden coming at you with a quick update. I'm sure people have seen some of this stuff going on before. Why is there a shortage of tomatoes and other fruit and vegetables in the UK? So the UK currently right now is experiencing vegetable shortages. You go back a while back when I made a video about this, it was about Dutch greenhouses and things like that were having energy shortages. They kind of gloss over any of that stuff. They say, well, Spain had an unusually cold winter, etc. But let's just kind of go through it. So this is from the UK's largest supermarket, Tesco, and of course they got Aldi in there, saying they've been putting limits of 3 per customer on tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers. Now that is super common vegetables that you use in cooking all the time. Whether it's tomato sauces or tomatoes in your sandwiches. Personally, I put peppers in pretty much anything as long as it's growable at the time. Cucumbers, yeah. So, and then of course there's obviously items that are made with those, especially tomatoes, tomato sauce, tomato paste, all that rest. So very common and very easy to grow in your backyard garden. There's no reason why anybody with enough space to have a couple of pots can't grow tomatoes and peppers. Cucumbers take a little bit more space because they're vining plants, so you have to have something for them to trellis on. But 1 or 2 cucumbers plants will produce tons of cucumbers. They're very productive. So anyways, I digress. So lettuce, salad bags, broccoli, cauliflower, raspberries, all these things are being limited. And they're 2 cucumbers, tomatoes, it's just ridiculous. So let's go on to the next one. They say, well, why is there a shortage? Okay, winter months, they import 95% of their tomatoes, 90% of its lettuce from Spain, North Africa. According to the trade group, the British Retail Consortium, they've been suffering from an unusually cold weather. It is winter. They may try and push all this global warming nonsense on us, but it is winter. And so you're going to have cold weather. Now, if you're growing in greenhouses, you can still get, obviously heated greenhouses that produce. But there's something happened to the natural gas here lately. I just can't put my finger on what it was. But something, somewhere along the line, natural gas seemed to stop being favorable. Natural gas heats your greenhouses, cooks your food, heats your homes, but they want to phase it out. I think how long will it last? A few weeks. That's bunk. It's going to last a lot longer than that. Why is it going to last longer than that? Because it goes back to my gardening rule. I call it the 3-month rule. You're going to have to, even if you start seeds now, it's going to be 3 months before you can actually grow any, before you actually can, or more, or some of them, in some cases less, like radishes, before you're able to get that harvest. So I'm sure that they're already starting seeds there. They should be if they're not, and anybody listening to this should be if they haven't already begun to start seeds for this, because I'm like right on the border of zone 6 and 7, and I just started pepper seeds. Remember, peppers, tomatoes start 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost date. Cucumbers, in the case of what they were talking about up here, you need to wait till maybe a week before your last frost date, maybe 2 weeks because at most. If you have a bigger container farm, that would be a bigger container because cucumbers grow really fast. So along with things like summer squash. But I digress. So you're having an unusually cold winter. How long does it last? A few weeks, they say. I say longer than that because it's going to take time to grow the plants to get the produce. All right, so let's switch gears here for a second. All right, we don't have the vegetable shortages here in the United States at this point in time. Prices are obviously up. I could have pulled up 100 articles about droughts and prices rising and lack of tomato production in California and all that stuff if I wanted to, but I don't want to make this video very long. But right now we're not experiencing that limitation. You can't, you're not going to go to the store and find you can only buy 3 tomatoes at this point in time. But there's something else to keep on your radar whenever you're hopefully growing some food or stockpiling some canned goods away for tough times ahead. There is an aluminum shortage that's starting to bubble up under the scene, and so even whenever they do have produce out there, it's going to be more expensive because there's going to be a coming can shortage. So you got aluminum prices going up, and just something to be aware that aluminum aluminum cans is becoming a shortage. All right, one last thing in my brief video. I tried to keep it away from politics, but it seems to be impossible in this day and age. And so I want to throw this out there because a while back they were discussing, this rule, and then all kinds of public pushback about, phasing out gas stoves. It's ridiculous. And if you read the study, it's even more ridiculous. I read it, and it was absurd. I should do a video just on that alone. But anyways, aside from that, without going into all the details, those people are interested, then I can do a video talking about that study. The Department of Energy is looking at, they didn't give up on the whole idea of regulating gas stoves out of existence. They just dialed it back some. So now they want to put a regulation that would limit about half the gas stoves because of whatever type of regulation they want to put in to limit the amount of gas that is being used in these stoves. So they're still at it, but this is the nose in the camel's tent. It's the creeping madness. So if they get this passed, then at some point in time they'll increase the regulations, and then they'll move to gas heaters, and they'll move to gas-powered greenhouses, and etc. And natural gas. There'll be a war on natural gas for anything and everything. Propane, who knows what they'll come out with next. So I just want to throw that out there so people can be aware of this. So if you are politically active and you do want to contact somebody in Congress and say, this is bunk, I use this gas stove, whether it's for canning or just cooking, that this is just something you should be aware of. Anyways, that's all. I just want to make a quick video and let people know about some of the vegetable stuff. It's such an easy fix if you have any space at all. I mean, a tomato plant or two, cucumber, a handful of peppers, and you could be good for the summertime and hopefully be able to put some away. But I'm going to be doing all new gardening grow videos this summer, and in fact I should be doing them now because I had all kinds of stuff started in my greenhouse. I just haven't had a chance to get out there, been working a lot. So look forward to those, and if you want to follow that, make sure you're subscribed and share the video, and have a good evening.